Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're decoding a really compelling framework, Crysticism, Code 940.2. Specifically, we're zooming in on chapters 4 through 6 of our source text to look at the literal, almost mechanical physics of emotional healing. We're going to be following the journey of Rev. He's a young guy, 25 years old, who is finally dropping his lifelong defenses and bravely facing this vibrant, incredibly complex inner world that he's pretty much spent his whole life ignoring.
We're breaking down this deeply metaphorical journey into a clear, logical roadmap. We'll hit 5 key steps. 1. The return of negative energy. 2. Transformation through pink fireworks. 3. The mother's soul plan. 4. Rebuilding the jigsaw soul. And finally, 5. Forgiving the projected shadows. All right, let's jump right in.
Section 1. The return of negative energy, a tidal wave of emotion. So our journey starts the exact moment Rev decides to finally tear down these massive inner walls he built against his father. But instead of instant relief, he actually gets hit with this sudden, immense tidal wave of physical heaviness. It's described as this chalky, deeply uncomfortable weight settling right in his chest. It kind of feels like a temporary dimming of his otherwise normal, vibrant, everyday world.
Now, Rev's inner guide, his Crystic Conscience, introduces this really profound concept right here. Misqualified energy. Basically, this sudden heaviness he's feeling, it's not just some random panic attack. It is literally years of his own accumulated negativity. All that teenage resentment, the harsh criticism he threw at his dad, it wasn't just lost to the wind. His father actually safely absorbed that energy and held it in a kind of spiritual debt. He carried that heavy burden out of pure love, literally just waiting until Rev was mature enough to process it himself. Isn't that wild?
Because of that, Rev now has to actually feel the very negativity he'd been projecting outward all those years. And man, this brings him face to face with his own false beliefs. I mean, think about how often we all do this, right? How often do we paint other people as the absolute villains in our lives just to, protect our own fragile egos? Rev suddenly realizes he created this total fantasy where his dad was the enemy, when in reality, his dad was just trying to protect him. So this returning heavy energy is essentially his own castaway past coming home to finally be processed.
Moving on to Section 2, Transformation through pink fireworks. Transforming the pain. Obviously, feeling all this heavy returning energy is incredibly overwhelming for Rev. But rather than just drowning in it endlessly, his Crystic Conscience gives him this vivid, almost mechanical cure. It shows him that healing isn't about suffering forever. It's about applying a very specific, high-vibration solution to clear out the blockage.
So he learns that actively apologizing and opening his heart literally changes the physics of his pain. The text describes this process where Rev consciously contracts back into his heart center. He's not just thinking about it, he is mentally pulling all his awareness inward, focusing entirely on that energetic core. And as he sincerely apologizes to his father's memory from that deeply grounded space, that heavy gray sludge in his chest actually begins to break up, making way for something really beautiful.
The internal mechanics of this are just stunning. Blazing pink fireballs shoot out of his heart like these compact little comets of warmth. And they aren't just gentle sparks, they actively target those stubborn pockets of compacted pain and literally explode into soft petals of rose light. Rev actually describes it as feeling like a massive inner 4th of July. The heavy gray sludge dissolves completely, sparking this serene, joyous sense of relief that just washes over his entire being.
But just as this initial healing from his father settles, a massive curveball comes his way. The conscience asks Rev if he's ready to look at the true source of his deepest, most foundational grief, the loss of his mother when he was just a young boy. We're not talking about just another layer of resentment here. This is the core wound, the one that set his entire defensive system into motion in the first place.
Which brings us to Section 3, the mother's soul plan. Pre-birth contracts. To address this profound grief, Rev is finally presented with his mother's pre-birth letter. You see, for his entire life, he carried this incredibly heavy, completely false assumption that his mom had somehow abandoned him or that her passing was just some random, cruel tragedy that left him totally unprotected in a harsh world. Then the text presents us with this letter, and it reads, "It was my time to leave, and you had agreed to this when you chose me as your mother. You accepted being my earthly child for only 13 years. Okay, that quote right there, it completely shatters his entire worldview. It reveals this profound pre-birth soul contract. What Rev saw as an unfair, chaotic tragedy was actually a planned agreement that they both consciously made before he was even born. She didn't abandon him. She fulfilled her exact contract.
Let's move to Section 4, Rebuilding the Jigsaw Soul, Integrating Lost Pieces. Realizing the truth of this letter isn't just a mental shift for Rev. In the spiritual mechanics of this world, it triggers a literal, physical reintegration of his lost self. It initiates the rebuilding of what the text so beautifully calls the jigsaw soul.
This rebuilding process is a very precise four-step mechanism. First, as Rev's inner helpers retrieve the innocent, vulnerable pieces of his soul that he cast away when his mom died, he has to actively acknowledge that lost piece. Second, he has to use his absolute willpower to forgive the past and deliberately let go of those deep-seated grudges. Third, and this is amazing, with a profound sense of wonder, he feels the piece literally snap back into his heart with a quiet, satisfying click. And finally, step 4, that integration sends a radiant shockwave of joyful transformation through his whole being.
Section 5, Forgiving the Projected Shadows, Releasing Voodoo Dolls. Now, just when he thinks the puzzle is totally complete and he's fully healed, a second, completely unexpected wave of energy hits him. But this time, it isn't coming from his dad or his mom. It's coming from the wider world around him, forcing him to face the broader consequences of his pain.
Suddenly, he's confronted with all the innocent people he inadvertently used as stand-ins for his father. The source calls these voodoo doll representatives. I mean, think about why we do this in our own lives. It's so much easier to project our simmering anger onto a safe stranger, right? Like an exhausted cashier, a strict teacher, or a therapist, rather than aiming it at the actual source of our deepest pain. Because of his fear, Rev projected his unresolved trauma onto these innocent bystanders, and now all that misguided resentment is returning to him as bright, incoming beams of energy.
Seeing this energy approach, Rev's very first instinct is to build a massive stone defense wall. We all have that instinct, right? To build an impenetrable wall the exact second we feel attacked or overwhelmed. But Rev remembers that walls just result in suffocation and isolation. So instead, he makes a highly courageous choice to open his heart and accept the hits, whispering genuine apologies to each remembered face. And miraculously, this act of pure forgiveness shrinks those painful incoming spears down to harmless little pinpricks that just gently tingle his heart.
This final act of absolute surrender creates a truly breathtaking finale. Take a moment to just picture this. The cleansed energy turns into a shimmering, cosmic white dust that snows down beautifully over his entire being. It gently settles into vibrant pink, gold, and blue flames. This profoundly mechanical and spiritual process completely replaces his lifelong fear with a serene, deeply grounded faith. He isn't just healed at this point, he is finally truly whole.
To wrap up this explainer, I want you to consider your own internal barriers. Just like our young protagonist, every single one of us builds walls to protect ourselves, and we often accidentally lock away our own vital energy in the process. So ask yourself, what parts of you are waiting to finally come home? Who might you need to forgive, including yourself, to let those vibrant pieces click back into place? Thanks so much for joining me on this journey through the mystical mechanics of the mind. I'll catch you next time.